That Don't Sound Right is a podcast about talking the way we did before the internet.
When you could not prove anyone right or wrong, all the expertise was contained in the people involved in the conversation.
We hope you enjoy our conversations. And as you listen, if you find yourself silently saying, that don't sound right, send us a comment. You're one of us. Cut out daylight savings time and move Thanksgiving to Friday.
Now we're talking. Welcome back to another episode of That Don't Sound Right, a podcast about talking. We're your co-hosts. I'm Peter Billman.
I'm Cecil Davis.
And we're just trying to have a conversation without Googling or fact-checking things online. Those things can so easily kill the conversation, Cecil.
We didn't have any conversations in the mailbag about someone throwing a knife through their foot, did we?
Not yet. I think still people are a little in shock of the idea of, like, how old were you?
I was much too old, and I knew better. We all knew better.
So you were
we were old enough.
You were teenagers.
Yeah, we knew better.
Because I can definitely see like a fifth grader maybe throwing pocket knives between your feet to see who can come the closest to the foot without getting stabbed.
You know, two other things like that happened to me. One time, I was standing next to a car, and a friend came, was going to T-bone my car, joking around, and slammed on brakes at the last kind of second, you know? And I would think back in it was close enough it made me jump, I think, on top of my car. I mean, it wasn't like super close, but again, it was stupid.
Was this the Buick?
Yeah. I mean, it would hurt him, not me.
Yeah, his car would have been totaled.
Yeah, but I was just thinking how crazy what he did was. And then one day, I sat on a friend of mine's front bumper or front fender, and he took off while I was sitting on the bumper. And
you're sitting on
I was pretty sure I was sitting on the fender. Okay. Like the side. I just kind of sat down on the side, and he was in the car. Yeah. And when I did, I guess I'd done that before, and he took off. Yeah. And I really, that time I thought, when he stops, I'm going to die.
Were you riding on the car?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were literally
I was not sitting. Yeah.
You were not leaning up against it. You were literally sitting.
Yeah, I kind of sat down on top of it, and as soon as I did, he just put it in gear.
He didn't want you doing that, clearly.
I guess. But I was thinking, man, I really thought I was going to get hurt. If he meant to get me, he got me.
Well, it's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, everyone. So thanks for tuning in and listening to this episode. We thought it'd be fun to think about Thanksgiving. And one thing that came to mind that don't sound right about Thanksgiving is the amount of effort that we go through to get together for one meal.
One meal.
I mean, that's really what we got. It may be a long weekend, but it's one meal. It's on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
You usually don't get Wednesday off. Some people don't get even Friday off. You got to take vacation days to do this.
We even prepared for this episode, and I didn't think about it. It's on a Thursday. It's a federal holiday. I guess it's a federal holiday, right?
Yeah.
On a Thursday. Yeah. Why would you put it on a Thursday?
It's on a Thursday. We didn't do any research on it.
I know.
So maybe
now I'm really wondering what's on a Thursday.
What was it? And it's a funny rule about what Thursday it falls on, because this year it's the last week of the month, which means Christmas will be here before you know it.
Why not have it on a Friday or a Monday? Make a long weekend.
But here we go. It's on a Thursday because the Friday is not the federal holiday.
Right. Now think about this.
Only the Thursday.
Think about this. So you are like Christmas, you give gifts. So a lot of people give gifts on Christmas, and there's that added aspect of it, and there's a season of Christmas, right?
Yeah, leading up to it.
Right. And so there's you hear the whole 12 days of Christmas and Christian calendar, the Advent calendar.
And it's a celebration of Christ's birth.
Right.
So usually you're going to go to a worship service for something.
And Easter is usually connected with that Monday, even though the resurrection's on Sunday, but usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays, it gets incorporated into it. And then other days are usually built around a weekend. Right. Labor Day, Memorial Day.
And you do have Christmas leading into New Year, so it's kind of the natural you take the whole week off.
Take the week off. Plants shut down sometimes.
Right.
But Thanksgiving, there's not a Thanksgiving season. It's just one
It's Thursday.
day, Thursday. And then we put so much pressure that everybody has to get together. Really, like you said, it's almost for lunch, right? It's like almost everybody does lunch.
That's what don't sound right. We're getting together for lunch.
For lunch. And it's this very elaborate meal, typically. I remember as a kid, it would be the full turkey, right?
Yeah.
Then potatoes, and in the South, green bean casserole, and
we'll have to
carrots.
We'll have to get out the
turkeys,
the cooking recipe.
Yeah. And there'd be desserts, and you would have all your family would come together for this one meal. And you're traveling. Most of people fly. Like, it's one of the most traveled days of the year, right?
I mean, driving the Wednesday or the Sunday around Thanksgiving is basically wherever you're going to go, it's going to take twice as long. If you're driving 4 hours, it's going to take 8.
Right. There's just millions of people traveling to get somewhere for basically about 4 hours. So are you traveling for Thanksgiving?
Well, now that you mention it, we usually don't travel for Thanksgiving, but this year we're driving down on a Tuesday down to Mississippi.
How far is that?
That's a 12 to 13 hour drive. And we're all getting together at Bunny's parents' house on Thursday for the big meal, for lunch. But then we're driving up to Oxford, Mississippi on Friday.
What's in Oxford?
That's where Ole Miss is, and it's the Ole Miss Mississippi State game. So it's the big state rivalry game.
Right.
We've always wanted to go see this game, and so we're all the whole family's going up there.
You got your tickets already?
We already got our tickets.
Nice.
Everyone's going. Everyone who's there for Thanksgiving is going to this game.
Oh, the whole family?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. 14 of us or something.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to watch this game together.
Yeah.
And then we'll spend the night with Bunny's sister that Friday night, and then get up Saturday and drive home.
But, people fly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's one of those travel days.
It is.
The airports are packed.
Yeah. And if there's one thunderstorm, people are not getting there till Christmas.
Yeah. Now, imagine if you have any type of weather with that much travel going on, it just sends everything into chaos.
Well, you hear, and you do hear this, that happens.
Oh, absolutely. People are sleeping. Yeah, there's always the story of people sleeping in the airport. It just seems like we put a lot of effort into celebrating this one meal. It looks like we'd spread it out a little bit.
There's no, it's just lunch. How would you spread out lunch?
Well, connected to a weekend so that you could have the whole weekend off.
Well, theoretically, people can usually take Fridays off. Like, the school system doesn't have school on Friday, but you have to take a day of vacation off.
Right.
I know my office, we close down on Friday.
Oh,
so it's a holiday they give us that Thursday.
You get Thursday and Friday.
I get Thursday and Friday.
Oh, that's
but
nice.
The place I worked before, you only got the Thursday off, and you wanted Friday, you'd take a day of vacation.
So when you're staffing,
I take the whole week off anyway.
Dude,
I take Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off as vacation. Make it a full week.
Good for you.
Make it a season.
Yeah, because imagine staffing someplace. So if you're going to be closed on Thanksgiving, right? Let's say you're a store.
Yeah.
You're going to be closed on Thanksgiving. That means you've got to find people that are willing to be there on Wednesday and then postpone their travel.
Yeah.
And then you've got to find a crew to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right, which is the busiest shopping days.
And which are the busy shopping days, yeah. So you've got to, it makes a staffing nightmare for a lot of these stores to get enough people to work the day before and the day after.
I'm trying to remember, I worked retail in the mall in high school, and I'm trying to remember if there was an expectation that you're working retail, you just need to plan on being here because this is the nature of the job. You don't have to be here on 4th of July, but you have to be here around the Thanksgiving holiday because this is when stuff happens.
Just the big day, yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's an expectation. Everyone has this expectation and understanding that, okay, it's the retail season. You're going to have to work. I wouldn't want to do it. And I hate the fact that people have to work on Thanksgiving. That's what really bothers me is that these stores stay open at Thanksgiving. Yeah. I know some of them close early, but why be open?
Yeah. Well,
let's put more pressure on the day. It's lunch. make room for lunch for everybody.
Now, we traveled to Christy's house one time on Thanksgiving Day. This was years ago. The corridor which we took through 64, everything was closed. Like it was very difficult to find like an open gas station.
Oh yeah, right. But
Everything was closed.
I mean, how long ago was that?
It was 20 years. I mean, yeah, it was over 32 years.
Something's changed that we just stay open for everything.
More things are open now on Thanksgiving Day, which is hard. You're right. I mean, if everybody's gathering on that day and then you've got to work somewhere, that's tough.
Yeah, right.
And then there's all the people that are in jobs that can't take off. Like if you're in healthcare.
Right.
Again, we've put so much pressure on this one time.
Yeah.
And so if you're not there.
Yeah. So the people who can't take off really feel left out.
Yeah. You've really missed it because you've got this one shot.
It don't sound right, Cecil.
Don't sound right.
It's lunch.
We're now advocating for a 4-day Thanksgiving.
Or at least, how would we do this? How would the TDSR community change Thanksgiving to be more of a season instead of this one-time singular lunchtime on a Thursday where everyone has to travel?
We need to move it to Friday at least.
What would we do different, Cecil?
We need to cut out daylight savings time and move Thanksgiving to Friday.
Now we're talking. Save that daylight savings time ending until after Thanksgiving.
Have a brighter Thanksgiving, and it would be a 3-day weekend.
Why aren't we running the show around here?
I don't know. That's a good question. It would alleviate a lot of the travel problems. So we're clearing up all kinds of problems with this.
Yeah. You'd have more time to be with the family that has made all these travels because it's not dark out.
That's right.
At 5:15.
You'd have more daylight.
You can actually have a cookout.
That's right.
Provided it's not too cold.
It's very interesting that we have taken this single day, a day to be thankful.
Which we haven't really even talked about.
We haven't even talked about that part of it yet. What is the history of Thanksgiving? Do you know it?
I believe it has to do with the early settlers.
No, I mean, when was it mandated? When did the government mandate?
Oh, when was it?
I feel like it was like in the 40s or 50s.
When was it made a national holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Wasn't it a president decided that we were going to have a national day of Thanksgiving?
I would have thought I was a president.
Yeah, I'd have to Google it. I don't know off the top of my head.
I really don't know the history of Thanksgiving.
I don't either.
At least when it became a holiday. And I knew
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I knew the background, but I don't know when the law changed to made it a federal holiday.
Yeah. So we have taken something that's essentially a federal creation. So again, it's not tied to a religious holiday.
Right.
And have made it a very big focus of our fall.
Yeah.
Enough that we travel and generate a lot of commerce to have this incredible meal on this particular day.
Yeah, and I always have to be reminded that the rest of the world doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. They don't. No one else does it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not tied to religion specifically.
It's not tied to a global event or tradition.
It reminds me of a Bob Newhart skit where he is acting like the trading company is calling Sir Walter Raleigh, and Sir Walter Raleigh has sent a bunch of turkeys back to England, and they do that. The guys on the phone are like, "Hey, Walt, that's an American holiday. We don't celebrate that here." You're right. I mean, we're the only country that celebrates it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
My counterparts in Sweden, I'm going to be gone.
Right.
Why?
Well, I'm going to be off on a Thursday.
Because I'm eating lunch on Thursday. What's the problem?
I'm traveling 13 hours to be in Mississippi to eat lunch on a Thursday. Why?
The more we say it, the more it don't sound right, doesn't it?
Because I'm very thankful for everything. So I'm going to be at this spot at this particular hour.
When we're concerned that I forgot to put the timer on the right number when I set the turkey in, it's hard to be thankful.
Have you hosted and done the turkey before?
Yes, we've hosted, and I always do the turkey.
You carve it?
I do it all.
The Norman Rockwell type of meal?
I'm up in the morning, getting the bird ready. It's going in the oven. I'm pulling out the juices for the gravy.
Good man.
I don't make the gravy. I do the carving, and then everyone else does everything else. So it's interesting. We've gotten some now that the kids have grown up, they have all kind of gotten their thing that they work on. And it's really fun to see everyone pick a particular piece of the lunch and work on it.
I do think that my side of the family, the Davis side of the family, is getting this rolling and having it to be a longer weekend, because my family gathers on the family farm, and most of us are there for several days.
Okay.
And we cook pork shoulder.
You do pork?
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving, you don't do turkey?
We'll do turkey. Somebody will cook turkey, but mainly it's barbecue.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. So
I like that idea.
And so people can stick around a little bit longer. So maybe we're setting a trend, man.
Well, but down in Bladensboro, it's happening, right?
Right. But for me, a lot of times, especially in pharmacy, especially like if I was in retail, I'd have to be back again because the stores were open the next day.
Right.
It was a big day, a big retail.
Do pharmacies close on Thanksgiving? I would think they don't, because people always need medicines.
A lot of them close or at least close half a day on Thursday.
Yeah.
Half a day on Thursday. Yeah. Now, like a hospital pharmacy doesn't.
No.
Typically, obviously, but
I'm thinking about the
retail. Yeah, a lot of them do
locations.
close. Yeah, they tell you ahead of time to get your meds, get them in order. Now, the retail store that my granddaddy worked for, he's gone in on the weekends, but that was in a small town, and people would know him and say, "Hey, I ran out of so and so," and they'd get it.
They'd knock on his door at home, and
right. They had his home phone number. Yeah. You could walk down to the store. But yeah, so a lot of times my job, especially when I was working in the hospital, would require me to be there on that Friday.
On the Friday. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or I was on call.
On Thursday.
Yeah, my holidays were always interrupted by being on call, because especially like when I was at the hospital.
How often did you get called on a holiday?
It was often on holidays,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we weren't keeping normal pharmacy hours at the hospital, and so, I would get called in to take care of stuff, especially, it was a small hospital.
No, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've taken a lot of call on holidays. But, that's what I'm saying, is that when you're in a medical profession like that, especially if you're ER doc or working in the hospital, and there's all this pressure to be somewhere and everybody else is there, but you're at the hospital. You're working.
I'm trying to think about a time.
Well, regardless of how you celebrate it, I hope that you have time to do it. I hope you can relax. I hope that the travel is easy and the food is good and the family time is rich and long.
Yes, and you have plenty of old episodes you can go back and listen to if you've got a long drive ahead.
If you got 13-hour drive to Mississippi, then
you won't even be scratching the surface of our content on 13-hour drive.
Actually, you won't. You're right. We have well over 24 hours of...
I think we're at the 48-hour mark now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It would take you 2 days to listen to all of that Don't Sound Right.
That's right.
Whew.
Good luck.
Good luck, y'all. That's going to be hard to earn that shirt now.
Well, a lot of people have gotten a head start.
That's true. A lot of people have been listening from the beginning, but wow, if you're going to get caught up, 48 hours. So I think maybe a good way to wrap this episode up, because we were just messing around a little bit about that, about this not sounding right. It is a little odd that it's on Thursday, and we do put a lot of pressure on the day. And if you don't have the ability to be off for several days, it can put a lot of pressure on that particular meal. That part of it is a little odd, but there are ways that it works around sometimes for people, and that's great. And I'm thankful for any time that I get to be off and be with family and have the privilege of traveling and having a big meal. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I have a family that we like being around each other. When we go to Mississippi and there's 15, 16 all around, we all love being with each other, and we're going to go up to see a game. So I'm real thankful that I've got a family like that.
And I'm thankful for the podcast and for everybody that listens, and that we've been able to do this now for almost 4 years, coming up on 4 years, 4 calendar years. Three episode years, yes, 4 calendar years.
Yeah. We're working on our 4th year. We're in the middle of our 4th year.
Yeah. So that's very thankful for that. And we're continuing to get listeners, and we're continuing to grow on Instagram. So that's great.
I'm thankful for the emails that we get and the likes that we get, and the community that's been created by us just saying that don't sound right.
One of the odd side effects, that's not what I wanted to say. That was all of the wrong words in one sentence. One of the unexpected benefits of the podcast is it has allowed me to talk to people that I didn't really know before.
Really?
Well, it gives people an entree into having a conversation. So like normally where you'd have to just have a cold conversation. What do you do? What do you do? Are you married? Are you, you can say, oh, I'll listen to this. It's a very easy way to start a conversation. So that is a great benefit of the podcast I wasn't expecting.
No, that's true. That's true.
Anyways, what we're trying to say is Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So it doesn't sound right, but you've come to the end of another episode of That Don't Sound Right.
Speaking of thankful, we just want to thank everyone for listening. If this is your first time and enjoyed the conversation, would you consider hitting the subscribe button on the platform you listen with? Also, if you're that long-time listener with a t-shirt, give us a rating and leave us a review so others can easily find us and join the conversation.
And if you think about it, become the 102nd person on Instagram. That's TDSR Podcast on Instagram. That Don't Sound Right is a production of TDSR Podcast in conjunction with Camel City Studios. I am your co-host and sound engineer, Cecil. Peter is your other host and your web designer. Camille is our barista. Emily does our graphic design. Ella does our Instagram. Giorgio tests our merchandise. Brent is our international brand ambassador. And as always, listener number one is Scott. So until next week, keep talking.
And stay curious.